All right, so happy cosine day. Happy bunch of strangers in the room day. You guys have done very well with bunch of strangers. So cosine function, as you have hopefully figured out, ends up, if I just go from 0 to 2 pi, it starts at its maximum and ends at its maximum in one period, in one cycle, it's back up to its maximum. Has to hit its minimum somewhere, so that'll be halfway in between. And goes to the horizontal axis at the quarter points. So pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And one cycle from 0 to 2 pi is going to look like that. All right. So let's try graphing some cosine that is not simply cosine theta. So if I want to graph y equals 3 cosine 2 theta, that 3 is what? That's our amplitude. And that 2 we call by the letter B, and it tells us how many cycles we get between 0 and 2 pi, but it also helps us figure out the period, because the period is 2 pi over B. And so if B is 2, 2 pi over 2 is pi. I guess our visitors have gone. They didn't say goodbye. We could have waved. We'll say goodbye to them on the video. Goodbye, visitors. Later. All right. All right. So here we go. My period is pi, so I'm going to mark a pi on my graph. I'm going to mark halfway, pi over 2. We'll go up 3 for my amplitude and down 3 for my amplitude. Cosine starts at its maximum, so its maximum is 3. Ends at its maximum of 3. Midway hits its minimum and is on the horizontal axis at the quarter points. So there we got one cycle of 3 times the cosine of 2 theta. Okay? If we had to graph another cycle, we'd go all the way out to 2 pi. Okay? Let's do a -1, make sure we can do this. So I'm going to go negative cosine 1/2 theta. What's my amplitude? So amplitude is always a positive number, so my amplitude is officially 1, even though I got that negative sign out there. What's my period? 2 pi divided by 1/2 is 2 pi times 2 over 1, which is 4 pi. So when I go to graph this, I'm just going between 1 and -1. Got a period of 4 pi. Divide that in half, 2 pi. Now, my negative cosine is going to start at its minimum. So instead of starting at 0, 1, it's going to start at 0, -1. And end at its minimum. Point right in between is going to be its maximum. And at the quarter points, on the horizontal axis. Okay. Then the last thing, a little graphing calculator stuff, yay, is trying to solve equations using the graphing calculator. So solving the equation like 3 cosine 2x equals -2. This one would be kind of difficult to solve on your own, and it ends up being really difficult to solve, having to look at all the different answers. But what I can do is divide this up into 2 functions. Y equals 3 times the cosine of 2x, and y equals -2, and graph these 2 functions.